America's most powerful economic institution just got a new boss, and the timing could not be more dramatic. The U.S. Senate has confirmed Kevin Warsh as the next chair of the U.S. Federal Reserve, replacing Jerome Powell at a time when inflation is rising again and markets are already nervous. Warsh was confirmed in a narrow 54-45 Senate vote, making it one of the most politically divisive Federal Reserve confirmations in recent history. Only one Democrat reportedly voted in his favor. So why is this such a big deal? Because the Federal Reserve is basically the institution that controls interest rates in the United States. And whatever the Fed does affects global markets, stock prices, loans, currencies, oil prices, and even economies like India's. Right now, the US economy is facing a fresh inflation problem. Inflation in America has climbed to 3.8%, well above the Fed's 2% target. A major reason is the surge in oil prices after the Iran war intensified tensions in the Middle East. At the same time, U.S. President Donald Trump has been publicly demanding lower interest rates to support growth and markets. And that's one reason why there has been clashes between Trump and Powell in the past year. That puts Warsh in an extremely difficult position from day one. If the Fed cuts rates too early, inflation could rise even more. But if rates stay high for too long, the economy could slow down sharply. And this is where Kevin Warsh becomes controversial. Warsh is seen as someone closer to Trump compared to Powell. Critics fear that the Federal Reserve could become more political under his leadership. Some Democratic lawmakers have already accused him of being too aligned with the White House, but Warsh says he wants what he calls regime change at the Fed. He reportedly plans to shrink the Federal Reserve's massive $6.7 trillion balance sheet and change how the central bank communicates policy decisions. Warsh is not new to the system. He previously served as a Federal Reserve governor during the 2008 global financial crisis and became one of the youngest people ever to hold that position. Now the world is watching what he does next. The Fed's current interest rate range stands at 3.5% to 3.75%. Markets were earlier expecting rate cuts in 2026, but rising inflation and oil prices have now created fears that rates could stay high for longer or even rise again. And that matters globally, because when the US changes interest rates, money moves across the world.